Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down greatness. And man, oh man, the National Blowout League was in full effect this weekend. I believe we only had one game that was within one score. Maybe two. I think it was seriously only one, though. Every other game was just massive ass kicking for one side, and the other side got their asses kicked. It's one of those things now where it's like, okay, it is week 8. I think some teams have fully separated themselves from others. Other teams are starting to get away from the pack a little bit. Some teams are coming back from the pack, coming back from behind the pack. Other teams are falling back from the pack. We basically know what every team kind of is. We know what some of their issues are going to be. We're going into week 9. There's only so much you can fix at this point, other than getting some guys healthy that maybe will help fix some holes. But past that, we're kind of starting to figure out who these teams are. So when it comes to the NFL, we're going to go over all the reactions for week 9, go over some news. Then we're going to look at the betting market, talk about some of the awards and futures awards, as the betting odds say, because, yeah, some stuff has changed. For example, Baker falling back from the pack in that aspect a little bit. Other guys are starting to take more of the lead, so we're going to look at that. And then college, we'll have scores, AP top 25. Talk about some news a little bit. Like, for example, Ryan Kelly. We'll talk about that potentially for a little bit. So let's start going over NFL. Probably, I won't lie to you, there was 6 teams on bye, and there was one game that was within, because, yeah, shit, the Steelers-Packers was 10. So, yeah, there was one game that was within one score. So, yeah, the breakdowns are going to be pretty simple this week, and a little bit more futures markets than normal, because, like I said, some of these teams just got their asses handed to them, and it's like, wash it down the drain, we'll worry about it next week. And then for some of these other teams, it's like, meh, kind of expected. So we'll start with the Thursday night game. Thursday night, Chargers win 37-10. The Vikings just looked absolutely horrible. It came out later that Carson Wentz was playing through a torn labrum and a stress fracture in his, I believe it's stress fracture, a fracture in his shoulder. So yeah, Carson Wentz probably should not have been playing that game, but J.J. McCarthy's going to be starting next week, so obviously he seems fully ready to go. Like I said, Chargers win 37-10. I mean, Justin Herbert looked awesome. Keanu Vidal looked awesome. Vikings look horrible. And there were some weird stat lines like this weekend, like especially for some of these fantasy owners out there. Like Quentin Johnson, goose egg. Jake Ferguson, goose egg. There was just because of these blowouts, there was just some really weird scores this week. When it comes to really weird scores in fantasy, really weird scores in the NFL, the Chargers were only favored by 3.5, and 37-10. There's a couple games this weekend. I'm just like, man, I think they're gonna win, but I can't take it. I guess I should have taken all of them. Shit. They were all blowouts. But for the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy's gonna be starting again, so there's really not. We're gonna have to see what the Vikings look like now, because they played with a hurt Carson Wentz. It's gonna be interesting to see if Jordan Addison continues his hot streak of scoring touchdowns. But they just look so bad offensively. There's just not. They just play. I think there was a comparison at one point, like 3-1. The Chargers ran plays over the Vikings. There was a lot of that this week, where some of these teams just weren't on the field, and it's like we'll talk about the 49ers in a bit, but it's just like, are they ever on offense? But like I said, Chargers, they win big. Not too much to go in there. Colts, they win 38-14. We'll save that game. It's a 4 o'clock game. I forgot about that. We'll save that game. Let's talk about the one good game from yesterday. Jets, Bengals. Jets ended up pulling out the win 39-38. It was at one point the Bengals were up, I believe, 24-13. And you're sitting there looking like, okay, this game's probably over. They just need to pull away. And then they score a touchdown. Jets score a field goal. So at this point, 31-16, something like that. So it's like, okay, this game's probably over. We can start looking away from it. And then all of a sudden, Jets scored 23 in the second half. They ran all over the Bengals, which a lot of teams have done. Justin Fields ran for, I think, 31 yards. He didn't run as much, but he passed for 244. It's really good for him. Breece Hall was the guy who did run for a lot. 18 for 123. He looked awesome on the ground. I think even Isaiah Davis had some good rush, 7 for 65. So he averaged 9 a carry. They ran. And then is that Isaiah Williams, wide receiver, gets a carry, 1 for 25. So they were just destroyed. They just destroyed him on the ground. And then the biggest issue I had with the Bengals was the play calling, especially down the stretch. I mean, they just threw the ball a lot, and they were just letting the clock kind of stop, and they just ended up giving more time to the Jets in the end. And then the one that really got me was the, which I think a lot of people have agreed with, is the, all right, you need about 15 or so yards. You know how bad your offensive line is, and you know how good the Jets' defensive line is. Let's run. Let's run the ball. I mean, that was a very questionable decision when they had to run the ball, burn a timeout, and then I think it was incomplete pass, either interception, incomplete pass, game's over, just like that for the Jets, or excuse me, for the Bengals, who the Jets at one point, I mean, it looked like they gave enough time. There was like about 40-ish seconds or so. Well, first, the Bengals run a good play. They're immediately, like, basically at midfield. So it's like, all right, if they get, like I said, 15 yards, game's over. And they have, like, 30-something seconds. All they got to do is not do what they did. And they ran the ball, had to call a timeout, and then threw it 3 times, and then game's over. That was, and I won't lie to you, the AFC North, the way it played out, I guess the books knew why the Ravens should have been a favorite in that division, because Bengals could have easily been a half game behind the Steelers, but instead they they blew that game. There's no better way to put it. They should have won that game. They let the Jets crawl back into it. I mean, but to be fair, in the Jets' favor, Nick, and this is something that we'll touch on, I guess, a little bit earlier inside the news, Nick Mangold passed away. And you got to wonder if there's a little bit of sprinkle magic in that win, just a little bit, because there was some stuff that kind of did go the Jets' way, but like I said, it was an awesome game, honestly. It ended up being one of the best games of the day. It sucks because I won't lie to you. Was tuned in and out of it a lot because, like I said, at one point it's 31-16. It's like, all right, it's the Jets. That's over. And then you just watch them score. It's like, okay, they score again. It's like, all right. I think at one point they were even after they scored the touchdown to go ahead, they were like plus 300 to win or something. Looking back, I wish I took that instead of taking the Bengals. Because I ended up getting sniped the Bengals at like minus 130 beforehand. And it didn't matter because they lost the game, but yeah, it was an awesome win for the Jets, who, at this point, Justin Fields has to start at least another couple weeks, right? It's just crazy to think if Tyrod Taylor was healthy, he probably starts that game. If he starts that game, I don't know if he wins in that game, per se. So it's just one of those wild what-ifs, and as for the Jets, they finally get a win on the board. So there's officially no teams without 0 wins, but I think the Jets are the only team with 1. Could be wrong. Titans. I did forget about the Titans. That's on me. Titans are pretty bad. And the Saints, which we'll get to them in a minute, too. But yeah, like I said, that was the only really fun game of the day. The rest of these are going to be blowouts. Buffalo Bills, 49, blow out the Panthers. I mean, they were just all over them. James Cook looked amazing on the ground. Rushed for 216 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen's had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. I mean, Josh Allen was 12 for 19 for 163 and 1 touchdown, and they won 40-9. Andy Dalton, Tedero McMillan had 99 receiving yards. Andy Dalton threw it 169, so or 175, excuse me. So basically, over half his yards went to Tedero, which is, don't blame him, honestly. Rico Dowdle had 8 carries for 54. Chuba Hubbard ended up scoring a touchdown for them. That running back situation just seems like they have 2 great backs, but just aren't able to capitalize it. I mean, especially in this game, when you're down 40-9, first off, you aren't going to... I mean, it was over early. It was 19-3 going into half, and the Bills scored 21 in the third. It's like, you aren't going to be able to do what you want to do on the ground, which, yeah. It's Panthers' kind of strength is running the ball at this point, so not being able to do that kind of burned them. Texans, they won 26-15. I mean, the defense just looked absolutely amazing. It was 13... it was 13-0 at one point. I mean, it was 13-0, like one of those. And this was a game where the 49ers offense had the ball for 5 minutes in the first half. And, I mean, that basically lost them the game because 13-point cushion, you end up losing the game by 11. It's like, should have held the ball more, guys. But shout out to George Kittle. He scores on National Tight Ends Day. But the biggest thing is the Texans just had the ball the whole time. So they just wore on that defense. And by the end of the game, I mean, that defense had to be gassed with how many plays they had out there. Like I said, 24 minutes in the first half, the Texans were on offense. 24 minutes out of 30. Yeah, and then I guess it's probably going to answer a lot of the QB questions. When Brock Purdy's back and healthy, he's probably starting, right? This is one of those games where I think everyone's just kind of like, okay, let's put in Brock Purdy. And I think he might be healthy enough to go next week. Don't quote me on that, not 100% sure, but I think there's a chance. Patriots, they won 32-13. Drake May had a bit of a slow start, and then he just exploded out of nowhere. It's crazy. I sat him in, just a little bit personal thing, I sat him in fantasy, and funny enough, I played Daniel Jones, so I only ended up losing out on 3 points. But it's one of the things where I just kept I was watching the game like, wow, Drake May's probably having a game high. And like to end up scoring 26 in my league. But overall, I mean, he's just, like I said, I get to watch him every week because of that. And he is just so awesome. I think he's third in the MVP odds for a reason. 18 for 24, 282 yards. He did have the one interception, but he also had 3 touchdowns to go for it. I mean, he just looks awesome out there. And the offense seems to be clicking. They have weapons everywhere for him to use. Trevion Henderson made a sighting. He had 10 for 75? What? Did he fumble or something? No? Man. Shout out to Trevion Henderson. Ramondre had 14 for 34, but 10 for 75. I did not even realize he played that well. Wow, that's actually we might see more Trevion Henderson. Maybe not because it was a blowout, but overall, shout out to Myles Garrett who ended up having 5 sacks in the game. He set a franchise record for most sacks in a single game. Like I said, dude had 5 sacks and they lost 32-13. I mean, congrats to him. He did get his money there and everything, but at a certain point, you just got to get tired of losing, and I'm sure he's just absolutely sick of it. But he chose to sign there and he took the money, so you got to look at it at a certain point that way too. But overall, Browns stink, man. That was a tough game for them. I mean, we knew they stunk, but that was one of those games where, I mean, Dylan Gabriel did not look too good. I mean, he finished with, 156 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, they just did absolutely nothing. I mean, Harold Phantom was good. He had a good day, but other than that, on their offense, they were not too good. Giants, Eagles. Eagles win 38-20. I mean, this game was an ass kicking as well. There's a late touchdown by Jackson Dart, or then 38-14. Or sorry, excuse me, 38-13. But Jalen Hurts, he had 179 passing yards, but threw for 4 touchdowns. So pretty good game out of him. Saquon, 14 carries, 150 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 10 a carry there, which is awesome. Dallas Goedert had 2 touchdowns for National Tight End Day, but biggest thing coming out of this game, Cam Scatterbo dislocated ankle. Let me find the actual. See if I can find the actual report. But Cam Scatterbo going to be out for the year. I mean, absolutely just horrible injury for him. I believe it's just an ankle. He had a dislocated ankle. Yeah. He got discharged from the hospital yesterday. It absolutely disgusting, and okay, yep, that's enough. I just saw a picture of it again. Absolutely disgusting. It was like Fred Warner's injury, similar to Dak's injury. He just got it's a horse collar tackle too, which really sucks. But it just sucks for the kid, man. Hopefully he can hopefully he'll be okay in the long run. But man, that just sucks. You gotta feel bad. At a certain point, it's just like, man, the Giants aren't allowed to have anything, are they? Malik Neighbors now done for the season. Cam Scatterbo done for the season. I mean, they still have Jackson Dart at least, but it's like, man. Just tough injuries, man. Absolutely tough injuries. Ravens win 30-16 without Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry passes Walter Payton for the 5th most rushing touchdowns in NFL history with 111. And I think based on the age he did it, I think there's a good chance he might be able to really get it up there if he can score a few more touchdowns, but Caleb just didn't look too good this game. I think that was the big story of this game. Tyler Huntley went 17 for 22, 186, 1 touchdown. He threw to Zay Flowers a lot. Zay Flowers looked good. Caleb had 25 for 285 and 1 interception. So if you look at the stats, you're like, okay, so we kind of had a decent game. It's just he missed a lot. And there's a very specific play. Shout out to I forget where I saw it at one show. But I mean, so I could see the replay of it. But there's a play he was very, very late on, and they were talking about his feet being late and just him late to do it. There's just a lot going on with Caleb where it's like all right, he's kind of hit a, I don't want to call it like a rough pass, but basically just like a stalling out part where with Ben Johnson, he was starting to ascend, figure it out. Now he's just kind of like stuck almost, and it's just like he needs to get over the next hurdle. What is it going to be that's going to get him over it? I truly don't know. I haven't watched enough Bear games closely either to see what the exact issue is, but overall, I mean, you got to think he will improve, but I mean, Roman Dudes had a great day, 114 receiving yards. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I think he's good. I think Caleb Williams is good. It's just I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know how to feel with him fully as a quarterback. Like I'm not in on him. I'm not out on him. It's kind of like looking at a house that's pending for sale. It's kind of like glancing in and seeing what's going on. Man, Isaiah Pacheco's now week to week with a knee injury. Sorry about that. Not gonna lie to you. That Pacheco news, I had to put, not gonna lie, I had to put in some fantasy waivers because your boy was, for sure need a running back in one of my leagues. So if it's week to week, Brashard Smith is going to be probably getting a bit more tick because Kareem Hunt's a little bit older. They don't want to wear him down because they're going to need him for the big games down the season. So probably going to see a lot more Brashard Smith. So I'm kind of excited about that. So like I said, had to put in some waivers, but that's kind of into my point in the Bears. Dolphins win 34-10. I mean, they absolutely just kicked the shit out of the Falcons. No Drake London, no Michael Penix. Close one. No Michael Penix. And Falcons just looked horrible. I mean, shouts to the Dolphins, though. They were absolutely able to shut down Bijan Robinson. He only had 9 carries for 25 yards. They game planned to totally keep him out of the game. Kirk Cousins looked bad at really bad at some point. So, yeah, he killed a lot of his straight stock this week, looking as bad as he did against the Dolphins. And it's just one of those games now where I'm not going to lie to you. We lost to 12 in Pickem, which, of course, we lose a big number. But I don't get this Falcons team anymore. So I'm not going to put big numbers on their games anymore and pick them. I'm not betting on this team anymore. And I just don't get this team. This is one of those teams that I just never understand. So we're just gonna avoid them as much as we can at this point. Same with the Dolphins. I don't understand them either. But shout out to the Dolphins. That was a massive win for them. Devon Achane looked awesome as well. He had 67 rushing yards. I thought he looked a lot better than that. And 24 receiving. Ollie Gordon looked good as well. It felt like they ran the ball a lot better than those stats say. So shout out to Jalen Waddle. He had a big game as well. Tampa Bay, they won 23-3 over the Saints. This started out as a very normal for them. Saints, you guys couldn't see it. I just got tagged by my green screen. May leave that in. That was kind of funny. But, no, this is starting to become a normal Saints-Bucks game where I just keep looking at my shoulder, waiting for it to fall again. But normal Saints-Bucks game where it was very tight throughout the first quarter. Nobody scored. Second quarter, very, very tight as well. We got the scoring started off was your boy Anthony Nelson, who absolutely just destroyed Spencer Rattler. He got an awesome interception at the defensive line position and just absolutely stiff-armed him all to hell. Then a field goal by the Saints, and then I will give the Saints credit. They had 6 amazing plays where they stopped the Bucs on the goal line from 1 yard, and it was actually pretty inspiring. But then it was all Bucs the rest of the game, pretty much. Baker didn't have the best of games, didn't have the worst of games. He was really meh. Talk about Tyler Shuck threw 30 passes. He came in at halftime at one point when it was 13 to. I think it was when it was 13-3. Excuse me, maybe 17-3. Excuse me. 17-3 at one point. I just remember Spencer Rattler ended up getting benched. They started Tyler Shuck, and I believe it is officially announced that Tyler will be the official starter going forward. Spencer Rattler has officially been benched, so they're going to see what they have in Tyler because, let's be honest, they're probably getting the number 1 pick. They may have an opportunity to draft a quarterback early. If they're going to get the number 1 pick, they're at least going to get 2, 3, at worst 4. So they're going to get a really high overall draft pick. So probably going to take a quarterback. So if they don't like what they got, so they might as well look to see what they got. Colts-Titans. Colts just absolutely destroy the Titans. They win 38-14. Jonathan Taylor scores 3 touchdowns for the 4th time this season, and he is the first player in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns against the same opponent 3 times in a row. Absolutely just destroyed them. He only had 12 carries, but he had 153 rushing yards and two touchdowns on the ground, 1 touchdown in the air. Daniel Jones had another great game. 21 for 29, 272, 3 touchdowns. This Colts offense is just a machine. Michael Pittman, 8 for 95 and a touchdown. One of the nicest catches you'll see all year. I recommend looking it up if you didn't see it. He basically caught the ball with his bicep. And guy all over him. All over him. For sure was PI. And like I said, Michael Pittman caught the touchdown pass. Colts, I mean, they just absolutely dominated the Titans, which a lot of teams have done this year. The best part is they covered the minus 14.5, which 1-1 for us. But 2, it's been a thing with Colts like in the past where it's like, all right, when they're supposed to win big, they really don't win big. They'll skate by or do something. It's like, all right, so this team's not serious. This team handled business. They shut them down. They beat them down. And it's... You start to look at this team now, it's like, okay, so they might actually be legit. I mean, they're in a good spot to get the 1 seed. We talked about their schedule last week. You really look at the rest of their schedule the rest of the way. Steelers, going to be a really tough test next week. How's that only a 1 p.m. game, by the way? Titans and Colts is 4 p.m., but Steelers, Colts is 1 p.m.? Falcons, they have the Falcons. Excuse me, I don't know why I did that. Bye week 11. Chiefs, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, 49ers, Jaguars, Texans. So I for sure say, so Jaguars, Texans, man, they actually might break the streak this year. They might actually win in Jacksonville. Holy shit. That just got me excited. But Colts absolutely destroyed them. Cowboys, Broncos. Broncos just put up 44 on the Cowboys defense. Javonte Williams did get his revenge touchdown, but R.J. Harvey had a coming-out party. J.K. Dobbins had 111 rushing on the ground, but R.J. Harvey, 46. He had the 2 touchdowns. Pat Bryant scored. Troy Franklin scored. It was an absolute beatdown. It was one of those games for the Cowboys where it's like everyone's kind of getting excited about their win last week. Like, okay, hey, this team might be able to do something. And then it was a very quick reality check by the Broncos, who just destroyed them in that game. In the final game, Packers 35, Steelers 25. I will admit, I really do hate to say it. I actually fell asleep at halftime in this game and woke up to it being over already. Like, it was one of those things where I'm not even kidding. So basically, when Aaron Rodgers did that touchdown pass to DK Metcalf, I did a blink, woke up, I saw the drive where, with 8:48 left, that Jordan Love completed it to Xavier Williams. And then it was one of those blink, look up again, the game's over. So basically I took 2 blinks and I slept for majority of a lot of this game, especially in the second half. Like I said, I missed completely the whole fourth quarter, which pretty upset about because I had to go back and rewatch it. I haven't got a chance to do that yet. I'm going to do that today just to see kind of what happened in that second half fully. But Packers continue to look good. I mean, Tucker Kraft absolutely destroyed them for what I've seen. That defense, the thing that scares me is that defense for the Steelers. As a guy who has Steelers over 8.5, they've given up a couple games now that they really shouldn't have. And now it's getting to that point where it's like, oh shit, is this team going to get their over? Because, of course, they have their offense figured out. Now their defense just can't stop a nosebleed, which their defense has a lot of guys paid on it. So it's becoming a real problem. So that's going to do it score-wise. We ran through all the games. Let's go over some of the news. What do we got? Let's see if there's anything I missed. We talked about Tyler Shough being the starter now. Cowboys Schottenheimer promised changes to the defense. They really need it. The touch push this weekend with the Eagles. Thank the Lord that didn't matter in the game or didn't count. But boy, is that play starting to become real issues. Pacheco's week to week with an MCL sprain. So you got to think that he's at least going to miss 2 weeks. Chiefs also have Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell, Brashard Smith. Like I said, I think we're going to see a lot more Brashard Smith. Because, I mean, we didn't talk about the Chiefs Commanders. Chiefs just kicked the shit out of the Commanders with nobody there. Terry McLaurin didn't look too bad in his comeback game. But with the weeks of blowouts, let's be honest, a lot of us saw this game probably happening this way. And sure enough, it did happen that way. But like I said, for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, 12 carries. Kareem Hunt, 9. Patrick had 4. Brashard Smith had 3. So like I said, There's 12 carries. I'm assuming Kareem Hunt's going to get a little bit more. I think Rashard Smith's going to get a lot more of those, and then Elijah Mitchell's just going to be there in case one of those two guys go down. But that's just my belief. I don't know how true that is, but we're going to see, obviously, by how the week goes. Something interesting. There's only one game decided by single digits on Sunday, and this Sunday and now Monday, I guess, was the first day with 1 or 0 games decided by single digits since December 20th of 1970. It's been a while since something like this happened on Sunday, and yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen again, because I won't lie to you, it got really stale quick, because it's just like, alright, so if you aren't having fun betting touchdown scores, wasn't too much action, unless you were on the right side of the fantasy with some of those teams, because some teams, like I said, if you're on the wrong side, boy, was it bad. Patrick Surtain's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a pec strain. That is not good. But he should. If this team makes the playoffs, he should be back for that, and that's really what matters. Carson Wentz's injury is undergoing, Carson Wentz's injury is season-ending. He is undergoing surgery, but yeah, dislocation of the torus labrum and fractured the socket. Yeesh. Ed Oliver's out for a while with a torn bicep. They said he might make it back for playoffs, but we'll see. Brian Thomas, what's going on with him? Apparently there's no plans to trade Brian Thomas. We'll see, because apparently one day they're listening to calls, next day they're saying there's no plans to trade him, but like I said, we'll see on that. I don't think they'll trade him, but hey. Aaron Glenn is non-committal to QB. That's just, okay. I'm not going to lie. You got it. To be fair, they did play the Bengals, I guess, so maybe that's his thinking, but you at least got to give the guy another week, right? You at least got to name the starter for a week, right? Puka Nacua expected to return this week against the Saints. Rams trade, I didn't even notice this yesterday, apparently. So, Roger McCreary got traded for a 6th-round pick, and he is going to the Rams now, so shout out to the Rams. Got a much-needed ad there. I think that might be it news-wise for stuff that we missed. Zach Taylor calls out defense after giving up 39. I mean, their defense kind of stinks. So they got rid of all their all-pros and good players walk, and then they let their good DC walk. I mean, Al Golden's trying his best, but yeah. I think that's it for the news. So let's, before we go over some college football scores, let's talk the betting markets for the NFL when it comes to, we'll check out division odds for, like, I'm not going to read out every team's division odds, but we'll just look at, like, the ones that are competitive, pretty much. And then we'll look at some of the other small stuff, like Super Bowl, Kansas City's plus 500, Lions are plus 700, Packers plus 750. Bills are plus 800, Philadelphia plus 950, plus 1,000 for the Rams, plus 1,100 for the Colts, and then everybody else is 2-1 after that list. To win totals, no divisions. That's what. Sorry, I was trying to find the right tab. I clicked on the wrong one. Bills are minus 145 to win a division. The Patriots are plus 110. Baltimore's minus 110. Pittsburgh's plus 165. Bengals are plus 600. Kind of sneaky, but that loss to the Jets kind of was like that probably killed your chances. Colts are minus 320 to win the division. Jags are plus 370. Crazy. Still can't believe the Texans are plus 1,200, by the way. Absolutely. It doesn't feel real almost. Chiefs are minus 125. Shout out to them, by the way. Massive win. Not the Chiefs, the Texans. Chiefs minus 125. Chiefs just beat that team's ass. Broncos plus 240. Chargers are plus 320. So that's a division that still could kind of go anybody's way. The Chargers getting all those wins at the beginning of the year when they were healthy. That's going to come in clutch for them at this point. Eagles are minus 475. Commanders plus 700. Eagles probably winning that one. Packers minus 130. Lions plus 125. Ooh. Might sprinkle the Lions. Bucks are minus 550. Falcons are plus 900. Panthers are plus 900. So, yeah, that's probably Bucks division. Shout out to us. I think we gave that out as a future. So, it's looking like that's probably going to cash as long as the season doesn't go too crazy. Rams are plus 100. Seahawks are plus 240. 49ers are plus 250 there. To be the number 1 seed, Colts are plus 185, Bills plus 320, Chiefs plus 370. Be the 1 seed, the NFC, Packers are plus 230, Lions plus 340, Rams plus 460. Like I said, some of these awards now. Okay, there's been some heavy movement. Okay. So Jonathan Taylor was plus 2,000 earlier today for MVP. Now, and then... Wow. So now, okay. So Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor basically switched places at the MVP odds, which is... that's why I'm glad I did this on the show, because... Wow. Mahomes is plus 150. Josh Allen's plus 400. Drake May's plus 450. I really wish I jumped in on that. I jumped in on him, but I just didn't pull the trigger early enough, and now it feels like it's a little too late. Jonathan Taylor plus 1,400. So is Jordan Love. Then you got Jared Goff plus 1,600. Matt Stafford plus 1,600. Then you got Baker, Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, all tied at 20-1. Like I said earlier today, even today, Jonathan Taylor was not plus 1,400. Jonathan Taylor was plus 2,000. Daniel Jones was plus 1,100. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to see if I have Jonathan Taylor at 100-1 odds, so I got $10 to win 1,000. So your boy is really hoping he wins MVP. I'm not gonna lie, if Jonathan Taylor wins MVP and Colts win Super Bowl, that's gonna be $30 for like 2.5K come up for your boy. So please, please. Offensive Player of the Year though, Jonathan Taylor minus 250, JSN plus 600, and then Christian McCaffrey's plus 1,400 and on down. Defensive Player of the Year, you got Micah Parsons plus 145, Myles Garrett plus 300, Aiden Hutchinson plus 500, Nick Benito plus 750. I don't really know how to read that one. I won't lie to you. I have no idea there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jack Starks plus 100, Emeka Ibuka is plus 180, Tyler Warren plus 500, Abdul Carter plus 110, Jihad Campbell plus 320, Nick Emmanwori is plus 500 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I really have no idea about that one either. And then Coach of the Year, we got Shane Steichen plus 105, Mike Vrabel plus 250, and then everyone else is 11-1 or longer. Very excited about that one because I wish I took Steichen. I think we might have given that one out but didn't take it. But I for sure took that boy Mike Vrabel. So if Shane Steichen doesn't win it, then I'm going to be kind of happy because Mike Vrabel's going to win it and I'm going to win money. But yeah, that's kind of awesome. It's looking like it's going to be Shane Steichen and Mike Vrabel for Coach of the Year. Unless their seasons just absolutely go to hell. But that does it for the NFL portion of this show. Let's head over to the college world where we're going to go over some of the news first before we get into the games. Because Brian Kelly, he's been fired after their start, which I don't think too shocking, but with how big that buyout is, they spent a lot of money on that buyout. A lot of money on that buyout, over $50 million. Peyton Manning. Yeesh, brother. Arch Manning's in the concussion protocol. That's after he took a massive hit on. Oh wow, this actually really sucks for Texas Tech. I saw Texas Tech's odds. We'll do college probably. We'll do college probably tomorrow. We'll go over some of the college future odds for some stuff. If we don't do it tomorrow, we'll do it next Tuesday. But also Texas Tech went to minus 110, whatever, to win their division. It's like, I understand they lost, but how? Or win their conference, excuse me. And then Will Hammond, their backup quarterback's going to miss the rest of the season after he tore his ACL. That really sucks because, yeah, Brendan Morton's been hurt a bit. And if he continues to be hurt, now they're going to the third string. Not good. Not good at all. And those are just some of the things I wanted to bring up there. Let's go over some scores. Shout out to Kennesaw State, by the way. They're 5-2. I didn't realize they're having a really, really good season. That might be for sure unexpected by me. I didn't expect them to be this good, but naturally, like from experts and everything who kind of know about them, I don't know if this is good for them or not. Just like I don't know if this is expected or what, but I'll admit that's pretty impressive that they're 5-2. Western Kentucky pulls it out against La Tech by 1. Let's see, some small school. Cal loses to Virginia Tech in double OT, heartbreaking for our cover. Purdue has a heartbreaking loss to Rutgers, 27-24. The quarterback basically gives the ball away in field goal range with like 2 minutes to go to where all Rutgers had to do was kick a field goal to win. Kent State, they pull off I guess it's not really an upset, but they beat Bowling Green 24-21. Ole Miss gets a massive win against Oklahoma 34-26. If they can win out, they're basically... If they can win out, if they have one more loss, they're still probably making the college football playoffs. Their season's looking good. Kansas State might be the hottest team in college football. They win 42-17. South Florida has a heartbreaking loss to Memphis 31-34. That might affect their college football playoffs. It might not. They for sure aren't ranked anymore, but I don't know what that's going to do for CFP. A lot of my experts think the CFP team's coming from the American, so they look out for the American beat. So that's where, if you're wanting to find somebody to bet on for the college football playoffs, a lot of people I'm hearing saying American, 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 so I will go look in that American conference. I just took USF today at plus 375, personally. Old Dominion beats App State. Virginia pulls it out 17-16 against North Carolina. Georgia Tech covers, wins 41-16, just destroys them. Shout out to Wake Forest, pulling out a massive win over SMU. We talked about it on the show. Look ahead spot potentially for SMU, but heartbreaker for them. That kind of takes them out of title contention and CFP race. Nebraska pulls out a close one against Northwestern. Indiana destroys UCLA 56-6. Started off the game with a pick six to Aiden Fisher, basically, so that set the tone. Auburn makes a massive comeback. They score 17 in the fourth to win 33-24. Rice beats UConn 37-34. That massive win for Rice. Utah State did not win for us. They lost 33-14. So we are waiting another week for that to cash. I believe this is a... So they are off this week, aren't they? They are off this week. So we're going to have to wait till next week, but they might have a winnable game next week. Maybe, just maybe. Alabama pulls it out against South Carolina. That game looks like they might lose, but they, like I said, they end up pulling it out, get a massive win. Illinois, they lose 25-42 to Washington. Their season's basically over. If Washington wins out, they do play Oregon. They might make the college football playoffs, but Illinois, any chance of them making the college football playoffs died with that third loss they took. Missouri, Vanderbilt pulls it out 17-10. Very ugly, very close game to start out, and then Vanderbilt's just able to do enough to pull away. Massive 80-yard touchdown run was able to help them out in that game. Iowa, belt to ass. 41-3, massive win over Minnesota. BYU pulls it out against Iowa State. Massive win for BYU, who just keeps winning. Can they keep getting away with this? They just might. They're getting better and better and better each week, so they might be a team that pulls it out of the Big 12. Oklahoma State lost 42-0 Texas Tech. Cincinnati, they win 41-20 over Baylor. Texas pulls out in overtime over Mississippi State 45-38. Now Texas has a massive game against Vanderbilt this week, but there's a chance that Art might not be playing because of the concussion. We're going to have to see what happens with that. TCU pulls out a close one against West Virginia. Really wish they gave that out and took that one. Miami destroys Stanford. Oregon wins 21-7 against Wisconsin. Dante Moore left in the third quarter, but one of those things you got to wonder if they took this game as seriously, seeing how bad Wisconsin was getting beat. I didn't watch that game, so I wasn't able to get eyes on it, see what was going on, but they did not cover. Michigan, they win 31-20 over Michigan State. Texas A&M, they win 49-25, put up 49 on LSU. That part of the reason Brian Kelly probably got fired as well, along with many long list of things. Louisville beats Booty Cheeks, Boston College 38-24. Tennessee wins 56-34 against Kentucky. Utah puts a 53 on Colorado with not even Devin Dampier, with Bird Ficklin. Absolutely destroyed them boys. Somebody rushed for 10 for 145. Arizona State, they lose to Houston. Houston 7-1. Are they going to be a college football playoffs team? They just find ways to keep winning. The rest of their schedule: West Virginia, UCF, TCU, Baylor. Are we going to have a one-loss Houston team? That might be a team that maybe, just maybe, might do something. I don't know. They aren't ranked, though, so that's the only thing. It's like they got only a few weeks left to get ranked, too, so we're going to have to see on that. Tyler Shuckfish is named starter. That's not college. I think we're ready to talk about the AP Top 25. So if we're looking at the Top 25, Ohio State, 54 votes, number 1. Indiana, 11, number 2. Texas A&M, 1 vote, got number 3. And all these votes are for first place, obviously. These are only undefeated teams left, and that's not true. BYU's undefeated. All right, let me just stop. So those are 3. Alabama, 4. Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Ole Miss 7, Georgia Tech 8, Vanderbilt 9, BYU 10, Miami 11, Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Tennessee, Virginia, Louisville, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, Missouri, Texas, Michigan, Houston 22, USC 23, Utah 24, Memphis 25. Man, like I said, Houston's ranked now, I guess. It didn't pop up when I was looking it up, but now that they're ranked, hey, like I said, they might be able to make some noise. They can continue winning out. Man, it could be them and BYU in the title game, potentially, which would be crazy if Texas Tech doesn't make it. But then do two teams make it in the college football playoff? Because Texas Tech's been good this year. A lot of questions that we still have yet to be seen. We have basically, I think I was listening to a show today, 25 teams fighting for 7 spots, basically. Because some of these teams are kind of locked in, because let's be honest, Ohio State, and that's something else I want to talk about. I like Ohio State, I like Indiana, I like Texas A&M. I think all 3 of them are for sure making the college football playoffs, unless something drastic happens. They lose like 3 of their last 4. So assuming all 3 of them make it, and then there's one more conference winner, you basically got, like I said, 7 to 8 spots everyone's fighting for, and there's 25 teams. Man, we only got so many weeks left. Rivalry week, I believe it's 3 weeks away. Is it 3 weeks or 4? I think it's 4. 4 weeks away. We're a month away from rivalry week. We're officially entering week 10, which is crazy. I mean, this season just keeps flying by, man. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. Really do appreciate it. I'll be back in this feed tomorrow to do Pickem Thursdays on a Wednesday. You know how we go around here. We're right there, man. We're 32 out of first. We're basically 5 or so out of second, or whatever it is. So, I mean, we're right where we need to be as the season continues. We're about to hit the halfway point. We just need to just keep going and keep doing our thing. Keep trying to get up there and hope somebody else messes it up. Man, it's going to be a fun week. This week looks like it should be a little bit better games as well. And then after this, we got 2 more weeks of 9:30 a.m. games coming up after this week. But not this weekend. Should be a fun weekend of football. We still got weekday football. Let's all enjoy it. I'll see everyone back in this feed tomorrow.